Welcome back to Least Worst Practices, the podcasty, webinary, YouTubey thing where I chat to legends in the Atlassian and Agile space, as Hayley is agreeing with here, and ask well, there's no best practices, there's no silver bullets to kind of like give to every team that you can rinse and repeat, but there's probably some least worst ideas which you should get people to consider all the time. So, Hayley, welcome to the recording-y thingy-majiggy. And like, what's your least worst practice that you found you repeatedly recommend to people in lots of different contexts?
Yeah, I think my least worst practice is that taking time to read and to learn and doing it in bite-sized chunks has been really a wonderful practice that I have put into place. And so I think some context is when I joined Easy Agile, I was given probably a list of 20 plus books to read. There was the ones that any agile team or company could read around scaling up and something there was things around agility practices in different companies like the Spotify model books, and there was so many books, and I thought to myself, am I supposed to read these in my personal time? Like, when you leave work at 5 p.m. or whatever time you leave work, I don't really want to sit in bed reading a book about scaling up a business. I
Mm.
probably want to read something a little bit lighter. But I could also see that how these books would really help accelerate my career, help me to understand the space that I was in, uh, help me to be a better teammate to my colleagues and all those things. So I think, reading and learning is of course a really important part of anyone's journey in their career or just generally. But actually putting into practice what I have actually done to make sure that I am reading and learning is to put into practice each morning. When I arrive at work, I'm an early bird. I start work at somewhere between 7 and 8 p.m. 7 p.m. Oh gosh.
That's quite a
AM.
window.
7 to 8 a.m. every morning I'm at work. And so I sit down at my desk and I'm an office person as well, but you can take this at home. I sit down at my desk and I put a timer on. I tell Siri, set a timer for 15 minutes and I read for 15 minutes. Currently, I'm reading this book. As you can see, I've taken lots of notes,
You're
but
a big geek, Hayley. That's why I'm
I'm a
taking you
big
back.
geek. But when you read for 15 minutes every morning, there's so many benefits that I found. Like your brain
Mm.
instantly gets into work. It's instantly getting into creative mode. It's taking what you're reading and it's putting into or saying your brain's starting to think around, how do I put this into practice in my business or into my team or um so I think those and that 15 minutes, it's not a big ask.
Yeah.
Any If you can't find 15 minutes of your day to read or to learn something, you could take this as, listening to a podcast for 15 minutes, but it's less than 6% of your week. But you'd be surprised how much you can learn or read or listen um, or watch in a 15-minute time span each morning or each day. So I think, bite-sized learning and actually scheduling it in to do has been a really great practice that I've seen a lot of benefits, and I totally recommend it to a lot of people who, are also passionate about learning and want to continue to be better at their careers or in the space that they're in. So yeah, that's a long-winded best practice, but that's something that I've really, really enjoyed and I could definitely recommend.
Really interesting. And obviously, I have to ask, like, what's your favorite thing that you've picked up from one of these books
Oh,
and then like brought to a team? And like anything
yeah.
you're reading at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm reading currently this book called Nearbound. So
Mm.
I work in a space at Easy Agile in the partnership space. As a marketer, as a person who's always worked as in a market, who's always been a marketer, who went to university and studied marketing, um, it's sort of an adjacent area, partnerships or channel, a lot of people call it.
Mm.
But it's something that sort of, there's a lot of concepts that are familiar and then there's a lot of concepts that are new. And so I've been really learning a lot from this book called Nearbound. There's so much about it that has been impactful around the way that I'm thinking about partnerships here at Easy Agile. But I think, one of the things that I've learned, and I know intuitively, and I think you would know as well, Kit, but the importance of your network and the importance of that network to influence buying decisions of customers or prospects. I think we often think about like, ad campaigns that we can put out into market or SEO but actually how does the network that you build and create as a person like yourself or like me who really thrived in creating networks, how do we leverage those people in our networks to influence buyers? And the importance of, even thinking of a day-to-day life, we are often asking others that we know for recommendations.
Mm.
That's a part of a network and a part of an influence. That's an influencing network that we need to build. And I think it's been an intuitive space for me, but not something I've really thought about a lot. So I don't know, that's something that I've really taken away from this book, the importance of influencers in the buying decisions. And you're an influencer yourself, Kit. And I've seen it in reality, like I've seen it work so much. So many of our customers at Easy Agile have purchased our products because they've been influenced. Maybe they've not been directly sold our products by a partner, for
Mm.
instance, but they've been influenced by the people in their networks, whether it's a solution partner or a colleague or a friend or yeah, a digital media ad, sure, but we're talking more about people. So it's been something I've learned in that
Yeah, yeah.
book. Yeah, I probably
I
learned a lot, but that was something that came to mind.
That's the one that stuck with you, right? I can really
Yeah.
relate to it, and I guess like I've been in this space for a little while now, not as long as some, but like more than others. And I guess I'm increasingly finding that like I'm definitely not the best completer, finisher, detail person. I've got colleagues now who are way ahead of me with some of the
Mm.
new stuff like Atlassian Analytics. Um, but more and more of my role is about that network and going like,
Mm.
oh, have a chat with Hayley because we did this the other day. And people seem to value it as much as like they do the skill in areas. So maybe it's the nature of your role and my role around things where that's like valued and things. But I like to
Totally.
think that will continue to be valued and maybe
Yeah.
not replaceable by AI.
Yeah,
Let's hope.
exactly. I don't know, no computer, no AI machine can do what we do. And I think being that leveraging those trusted advisors in your buyer's network, and those spheres of influence is going to be so important. I think when we think about like, and I know I'm getting deep here, but like when we think about how often we are bombarded with ads, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, just Google searching, how often we are bombarded with ads, and I'm sure that there's a statistic around how many ads we see a day, and it's in the probably tens of thousands or something like that for some of us. But I even see it in my own life. You just become immune or blind to those ads eventually, and you
Mm.
do refer to your network and the people who influence your decision making. So hopefully people like us will only become more and more important in this digital age. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
You've now jinxed it. Next week,
yeah,
there's going to be
exactly. We'll
an
get fired.
AI
Yeah,
network
they'll be like,
that
yeah, we've done this. You're out. Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
And before we kind of summarize and bid farewell to everyone, if folks are inspired by hearing you talk, like where else can they go to get more Hayley?
No.
How should they find out more of this wisdom that you are distilling from your 15-minute
Sure.
consumption?
Look, I'm definitely an avid LinkedIn user. So if anyone is wanting to connect, please do reach out to me on LinkedIn. Hayley Rod. I work at Easy Agile. So you'll be able to find me quite easily. And yeah, I think I would be really welcome to hearing from people if they start to implement this, they're thinking about implementing it, or what other best practices within this sphere they've started to actually do day to day, and that's made a difference to their working life. Because we all want hacks, right? We all want to learn those hacks that are going to get us to do things quicker, more efficiently, all those things. So that's probably the best place to find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hayley, showing your least worst practice of taking just
All
15
good.
minutes a day to keep on learning with things. Thank you for your time, and we'll speak soon, I'm sure.
Thanks, Kit.